Petra's water problem was not simply that there was too little water. Sometimes there was too much, arriving too fast. Rain falling across the mountains could rush into narrow channels and wadis. In the Sick, the winding gorge that forms Petra's famous eastern entrance, a flash flood could become a moving wall of water. The same landscape that made water scarce could suddenly concentrate it into danger. The Nabataean answer was not one aqueduct or one reservoir. It was a connected set of choices. Divert the violent flow, capture part of the runoff, bring in spring water, slow sediment, move water along stable gradients and store it for later.
This episode is a reconstruction, not actual footage. Channels, dams, tunnel openings, cisterns, pipe fragments, pools, and archaeological surveys anchor the route. The moving workers, households, and caravan moments are plausible scenes, not a recorded day.
Petra, known to its Nabataean inhabitants as Rakhmu, sat in a rugged basin between the Red Sea and the Dead Sea. Caravan routes connected Arabia with Egypt, Syria, Phoenicia, and the Mediterranean. Trade helped make the city important, but importance created a basic problem. People, animals, workshops, gardens, and public buildings all required water in a place where supply changed sharply by season. The city did not sit beside a broad, dependable river. Water came from springs outside the center, and from rain moving through a steep catchment. That meant the landscape itself had to be read as infrastructure. Start above the Sick. A diversion dam stood where floodwater could otherwise rush toward the gorge. Part of the flow could be directed toward the rock-cut Muthlim tunnel and away from the main entrance. This was not a decorative feature. It changed the path of dangerous water before that water reached the narrowest part of the city. Inside the Sick, channels cut along the rock carried water toward Petra. Some stretches used open channels. Others used ceramic pipes laid with careful slope. The surviving fragments are not a cinematic waterfall. They are smaller and more precise. A carved ledge, plastered channel, pipe socket, settling space, or mineral line. That small scale matters. Water moved because the gradient was controlled. Too shallow and sediment could collect. Too steep or too full and flow could become unstable or damage joints. Engineers did not need modern machinery, but they did need surveying, skilled construction, and repeated correction. The network also needed places where water could slow down. Basins could allow grit and sand to settle before water moved onward. Reservoirs and cisterns separated the moment of rainfall from the moment of use. A storm might last an hour. Stored water had to last much longer. A rock-cut cistern does not look dramatic from outside. Its opening may be modest, its interior dark, its walls lined to reduce leakage. Yet this hidden volume is one of the keys to Petra. The city was not made livable by an endless stream. It was made more resilient by many places that could hold water. Storage did not remove scarcity. By late in a dry season, water lines could fall. Sediment accumulated. Plaster cracked. A blocked inlet or leaking pipe reduced supply. Every impressive channel depended on ordinary maintenance. And access was not necessarily equal. In an ordinary household, water might appear as work. A vessel carried from a collection point, jars arranged in shade, a small cistern, a careful pour, a repaired container. A low-resource home was not a polished stone palace. It may have had worn plaster, sparse storage, and no decorative pool at all. Elsewhere in Petra, excavations revealed a monumental pool and garden complex. Here water was not only consumed, it was displayed. In an arid city, a large pool and planted terrace communicated control, wealth, and status. That contrast is the point. The same broad water landscape could support basic storage, craftwork, animals, public features, and elite spectacle. The pool does not represent ordinary life, but permanent household crisis would be just as misleading. If you want more ordinary worlds rebuilt from evidence, Subscribe after we follow the water one step further, into the work that kept it moving. Imagine a maintenance worker beside a channel. The individual is inferred, but the job is unavoidable. Sediment must be cleared. Vegetation must be cut back. Cracked lining must be patched. A ceramic pipe segment must be seeded without distorting the slope. The worker moves slowly because the channel edge, tool, and pipe all need to remain stable. This is where Petra's Waterworks become social. Stone and ceramic do not maintain themselves. The network required knowledge passed through labor, where water should turn, which basin needed cleaning, where a leak appeared, and how a storm had changed the channel. The exact administration is uncertain. We should not invent a water office, uniform, or ration card. But a citywide network with multiple sources and destinations implies coordination, inspection, repair, and decisions about use. Petra's role as a caravan center added another layer. Arriving people and pack animals needed water. One small caravan at a city edge explains that demand better than an endless parade. Animals drink from a trough or channel while carriers unload modest goods. Nearby workshops and markets add demand without turning the whole city into luxury. Trade objects can show connection, but they do not explain the waterworks by themselves. The engineering was Nabataean, adapted to local rock, slope, springs, rainfall, and risk. Outside knowledge may have circulated along trade routes, yet the city required local decisions and local maintenance. The surviving evidence also warns us against one simple ending. Petra continued under Roman and Byzantine rule. Water features changed, were repaired, reused, and sometimes failed. Earthquakes, shifting trade, political change, and maintenance all belong to the longer story. A single broken pipe did not make the city disappear overnight. Return to the sick. On one side is a channel carrying controlled water toward the city. Above it are scars of floods that could not always be controlled. Beyond the gorge are cisterns hidden in rock, storage behind ordinary walls, and monumental water made visible to display power. Petra was not a city that defeated the desert once. It was a city that kept negotiating with water. Too little, too much, too fast, too far away, and never free from the need for maintenance. Subscribe to World History Rebuilt for the Next Ordinary World, where evidence leads and reconstruction fills only the gaps.